Welcome back to the Gweilo 60 channel. She's hotter than a $5 pistol out today, let me tell you. But that's not what this video is about. You can tell that the United States is really into free trade and honesty and such. The U.S. Trade Representative Catherine Tay the other day released an investigative report on China's maritime, sorry about the noise here, China's maritime logistics and shipbuilding industry and how it affects the United States economy. Yeah. So what they've decided is that because China builds 51%, just over 50% of all maritime ships, the commercial ships, the big ones that haul containers, all of your goods, mainly dealing with their import and export trade in China, but it somehow impacts the shipbuilding capacity of the United States of America, like as if the United States is a big shipbuilding country. Even the Philippines, basically a third world country, builds more ships than the United States does. So does South Korea, so does Japan. Just targeting the Chinese because they are the big boys, the players, the competition for the United States. And so they targeted in this Section 301 investigative report done by the United States Trade Representative. It basically says that they can't do that. you can't do that, and we've got to figure out a way to stop China from being able to dominate the maritime logistics and shipbuilding industry. Okay, you can see in the background you've got a water buffalo going through the field type thing. It is beautiful here. You got to, but it's poor here. Anyway, back to the main idea of this video. So what they've come up with to help curb the growth of the China shipbuilding industry is fines for say you're a Chinese ship. And you're going into, and this is just a proposal at this point, but as you know, the proposals turn into laws pretty quick in the United States when it's targeting China and the Chinese economy and the Chinese people and the Chinese government, because they just don't like China because they're competition. But anyway, so what they've decided to do is, if you're a Chinese ship built in China, running the Chinese flag, for every time you go into port, in an American port, they're going to charge you $1 million. $1 million bucks. Okay, well, that's fine. But if you're one of these big super carriers and you got to go to 3 or 4 different ports in the United States to drop off your goods, they're going to charge you $1 million per port. Okay. If you say you're a company that bought one of these Chinese ships, and you're going to take that Chinese ship into a port in the United States, they're going to charge you $1.5 million. Yeah, at every port. If you have a fleet of, say, 100 ships, and a couple of them are Chinese, they're going to charge you $700,000. If you have one ship in a fleet of 100, they're going to charge you $500,000. You see, what they figure this will do is it'll stop Chinese ships from being built. But that's not what will happen. What will happen is they'll take these Chinese ships and they'll drop their goods in Mexico and ship them across the border. They'll drop their goods in Canada and either train them across or semis. The roads will get beaten to crap and stuff. And so it'll just stop those Chinese ships from entering the American ports. The people who work in the ports are going to lose their jobs. If, say, you've got a Chinese ship wants to come in, pick up soybeans or any other agricultural product from the United States, and they've got to pay $1 million or $1.5 million to enter that port and pick up soybeans. They're just not going to do it. So the farmers are going to take it on the chin on this one. So the dock workers, the farmers, and it's a trickle down effect. So what the United States is basically doing is shooting themselves in the foot, and it doesn't really make a lot of sense economically for the United States or competitive-wise, because they figured that it's going to help the American shipbuilding industry build more ships. Well, right now, China has the capacity of 232 times the shipbuilding capacity of the United States. One shipyard in China builds more ships per year than all of the shipbuilding in the United States. So like, how are you going to compete with that? How are you going to stop that from happening? Are you going to fine these ships when they come into port? Are you going to cost your country, your agricultural sector, a big dip? Your ports. See, and this isn't the first time things like this have happened in the ports. They tried to. What was this? 2 years ago, they said, well, all of the cranes in these ports are run by or were made in China, and they're all electronic, they're all computerized, and if they ever decided to shut it down, we're in trouble, so our ports would be just dead. So it's not going to help build more ships. The only thing that's going to help build more ships is if they put more money into it. Oh, and they say that the Chinese government has subsidized the shipbuilding industry in China. Well, yeah, they want to dominate in this area. They've got the largest manufacturing base in the world. They want to be able to sell their goods to the rest of the world, and by building a maritime logistics and shipbuilding industry the size that they have, it's made it so they can sell their wares around the world. That's what it's all about, selling their exports and importing goods that they need in their country. It really had nothing to do with competing with the United States until the United States decided that it had something to do with competing with the United States. You know what I mean? So it just doesn't really make a lot of sense that the United States would try to curb the Chinese shipbuilding industry just for the fact that they want to build more ships. Well, subsidize. They used to subsidize their shipbuilding industry. Back in the 40s, they had Great Britain in that time had the largest maritime presence, but by I think it was 45 or 46, the United States was dominant, and it was all subsidized by the government, and they went all in for this. But since they decided to stop subsidizing their shipbuilding industry, the shipbuilding industry has not fared very well, and now they figure we're going to take the Panama Canal. China's in the Panama Canal. China's ships are. You can see what they're doing is they're targeting certain areas of the maritime shipbuilding industry to try to stop the Chinese from doing what they're doing. This is just another part of that package. We've got to stop the Chinese from being in the north. So we're going to take Greenland. There's always an excuse to take somebody else's land. You know that. We're going to take the Panama Canal back because the Chinese are going to be using it. Well, they've got that corridor in Mexico that's coming up here pretty quick, and what they do is they offload on one side, on the Atlantic side. They train it across. They load it on the Pacific side, and away they go. So there is going to be a lot of competition, and I don't think the Mexicans are too happy with the American government right now. So I doubt if they'll be ponying up to them anytime soon. So the way it looks right now is China's just going to keep building lots of ships. They're going to be hauling their wares around the world. The United States is going to whine and cry and say, well, these guys are dominating in the shipbuilding industry and the maritime logistics, and yes, they are, and they've got 232 times the capacity of the United States, and that's just getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So when you look at how it's working, there is no stopping the Chinese in this industry, and the Americans are just, it's a money grab is what it is, but it's just not going to work. And that, my friends, is another video from Gweilo 60. Love me, hate me, you know the score. Until next time, peace out. Bye now.